overpoliced and underprotected. That's how a new report describes the relationship between homeless Indigenous women in the Northwest Territories and the RCMP. Linda Ward on this story for us with some very strong allegations in this new report.
Yeah, and these allegations coming out of a number of sharing circles that were held by the Yellowknife Women's Society. Those held last October to try and get a sense of the lived experience of these interactions and what happened. And as we heard, over-policed and underprotected. That was what was the takeaway from those sharing circles. Every single participant said that she had either experienced abuse by the RCMP or knew an Indigenous person who had. Here's more from the report's co-author.
Essentially, everyone had an experience of interacting with the RCMP. And those experiences started in childhood and went all the way up into the present day. The experiences that folks shared were primarily negative. So there were experiences of violence, of being arrested, of being mistreated, of being discriminated against, of being made to feel as less than.
And the society says that women said largely their complaints weren't taken seriously, and that when they went forward, most cases of officer misconduct were investigated in-house by the RCMP due to lack of resources for a civilian review and complaints commission. There were 63 allegations of inappropriate use of force by the Yellowknife division between 2018 and 2023. All of those were found to be unsubstantiated. Now, this relationship goes back about 150 years with the Northwest Mounted Police coming into the area. For many in this region, their first interaction with RCMP officers was being taken to a residential school. So this has been a generationally difficult experience.
Are there recommendations at the end of this report?
There are a number of recommendations that have been made by the society, and they go into both policing as well as social services and better supports for the community. It calls for, when it comes to policing, better training, better community integration, and a comprehensive review of policing in the area. They're also calling, as I say, for better social services, including more shelter spaces, more mobile crisis response teams to limit the number of interactions between RCMP and the community, and establish residential mental health and addictions treatment facility in the Northwest Territories, because right now there isn't one, despite having one of the highest substance abuse and addiction rates in the country. The report's co-author says all of this means that the RCMP is doing too much.
One thing that would, really help here is to increase funding for social services, which are not appropriately funded right now, and which force the RCMP to do things that they're not prepared to do, not trained to do, and not equipped to do. So essentially right now, the RCMP are frontline service providers because there's nothing else. There isn't enough in terms of services.
And the report's co-author says, this isn't the first time there's been a report like this, but there's been failure to act on the part of the government and on the part of RCMP leadership. We do have a response from the RCMP saying, we welcome any and all recommendations that have the intention of assisting us to provide improved policing services, but saying they need time to review and consider what could be adopted here.
Linda, thank you very much.